Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben and I'm a photographer and videographer based in North Wales. Dead simple one today. Super clamps. These have to be one of, if not my favourite piece of video equipment. Anyone who's been on a shoot with me over the last year probably knows how much I love these things. They're a very simple piece of equipment. In theory, it's a big clamp which you can tighten down onto practically anything and mount whatever you want. And for someone like me in a very small studio space like this, these things have proven invaluable. In this space I don't have very much room for tripods, C-stands, boom poles, anything like that, so I actually rely quite a lot on the furniture in this office space. And regular viewers may have noticed I've switched around my studio quite a bit recently, and a lot of it in planning was done quite strategically so I could make as many different camera angles as I could, mostly making use of these super clamps. So today what we're looking at is this contraption. This is actually my main camera support in this office. So very simply, we have a Manfrotto super clamp as the base, then we've got a cheese plate from SmallRig, a tilt swivel monitor mount again from SmallRig, and a very simple Arca Swiss quick release plate. I've used this setup not only here in the office where I can usually just clamp it down on the table, slide my camera in, and then position the camera however I please. I've also taken these to weddings where they have again proven invaluable, especially for dance floors and speeches where there may not be very much floor space. But this was also my main camera mounting system for almost the last year using my previous office setup. So let's jump in, build one of these things out and see what we can do with it. I'll leave links down below to all the parts that we're going to use here today, as well as the other stuff that I'm currently using. So to start with, what we'll need, obviously, a Manfrotto super clamp. These can be got very cheap. I recently, just a week or two ago, bought 3 of these second-hand on eBay for £50. I think they usually retail for around £25 each, depending on whether you get the spigot or not. But trust me, once you've got one, you'll soon start looking for more. Next we'll need a cheese plate. This one is from SmallRig, as is this smaller one. Little tip for this setup, do not use the smaller one, get the bigger one. It's worth spending a few more pound. The main reason being that the inset parts where you can put a screw straight through to attach it to something, on the smaller one they're all offset. There are no central ones, whereas on the larger one we have these nice big grooves right down the middle where we can attach it central. Next we'll need a tilt swivel monitor mount. This one is from SmallRig, as is this one. This one uses the ARRI locating pins with a 3/8 inch screw, whereas this one uses 2 screws on the bottom. Either of these will do the job perfectly well. As long as there's more than one point of contact to the cheese plate, we should be good. I would just advise not ever buying a hot shoe mountable monitor mount. It'll never be as secure as you need it to be, and I know a couple of people who have regretted mounting through a hot shoe. And then finally, this is the quick release Arca Swiss plate. This one is from Newer. These are both the same. I picked this one not only for price, it's a very decent price, but also for the mounting mechanism. This one is just a screw which you slide your camera in and then just screw it down tight in place. You can get some with the clasp, locking clasp, but depending on your setup, the clasp might not be the best for you. It might be. For me, these were the best, so here we are. So to start off, we'll get one of the single bolts with the cheese plate, pop it through in the centre, and we'll start screwing it into the 1/4 hole in the top of the super clamp. So at this stage it's not completely tightened down. Depending on how you want it to be set up, you can move it around lengthways either way, or you can even flip it around if you want it extended out further that way. For me, this is going to be the best orientation. So we'll make sure that's tight. There we go. Next job is the monitor mount. I'm going to get this down on the end here. The two screws pretty much align perfectly with the cheese plate. They are both small rig. There we go, and we'll tighten that down. Bear in mind that the super clamp to the cheese plate, it's not going to be the strongest connection you've ever had. At the end of the day, it is just two flat surfaces on top of each other. If you really want to make it secure, you could just put a little bit of rubber in between them, and that would just help adding a bit more friction. So then finally we have the quick release plate. This comes with a 1/4 screw, quite a nice long one, but we don't need that at all. We're going to remove that and keep it safe. You'll notice in the bottom we do already have a 1/4 to 3/8 adapter. We're going to keep that in and just start screwing it straight into the monitor mount. And then we can use our Allen key, stick it through the holes, and just really make sure that it is tight. There we go. So now we have a very strong, secure attachment with a nice flat base with plenty of different mounting options. We have a tilt and a pan axis and a very secure quick release mechanism. And it's tiny. I have just thrown this whole setup in my camera case for most weddings this year. It's come in handy a few times, and it's something I can very easily attach and detach in a matter of seconds when I want to start a video. So yeah, there we go. Super clamps, I absolutely love them. And this isn't the only way that I use them either. Right now in this office, the main camera is currently on the tripod. Usually I actually have one of these attached right there on the front of the desk. I'm also using one to the right here with this little light here. I'm using one to my left attached to an old monitor arm for my boom pole. And then my main key light up at the top is attached to the top of my bookcase using two super clamps with grip heads. So yeah, these things are infinitely useful. Like I say, once you've got one, you will just keep finding uses for them. But that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, might have found it useful. If you do fancy having a go yourself, like I say, I've got links to all the parts I used down below. If you have any other weird or wonderful uses for Manfrotto super clamps, do let me know. I'd love to hear. Drop a comment down below. And otherwise, be good, stay safe, get shooting, and I'll see you in the next video.